What's up, Samurai? We are back in some more Trove, and today is going to be a shorter video focusing on the fact that the test server is available. I'm going to kind of give you guys a quick summary of what the update is and what's coming with it, and then we'll have other videos that'll deep dive into it because I'm still kind of learning the mechanics of it all and so on and so forth. So with the test server being available right now, obviously, if you haven't done this before, you can basically go onto the live server of Trove and type /export account, one word, and then it's going to take a while for your file to convert over to the test server. You can see I haven't converted my file over in a while. Last time I did this was the last time the test server was open, so my Shadowhunter still has all of its stats and everything like that. So the update itself, is this the big update we've been waiting for? No, I don't think so. Honestly, it doesn't seem like it's going to impact gameplay in a meaningful way yet. It's another one of those updates that, to me, with my copium, it seems like this is going to be part of a larger picture. So to give you guys a brief history of what's been going on with this year with Trove, we've just been getting lackluster update after lackluster update. A lot of them kind of adding game mechanics that we didn't quite need. And this is no exception, where essentially this update will end up making us stronger, kind of. I'll get into it in other videos. But just to say, there's going to end up being 2 new professions in the game. So one of them is going to end up being Mysticism. So this NPC doesn't work currently, but this guy does. There's all these new crafting tables and stuff and everything all tied to this karma system, which is ultimately going to end up being tied to these temporary buffs. So these will, I'll have another video that's going to go into more detail, as I said, but just to give an example, this one gives you 2% light, which don't underestimate that. That's not bad for a buff. If you end up having like 10k or 11k light because of Berserk Battler, this will end up giving you a little over 200. It's still not going to be as good as food items that give you 300 and stuff, but it's still not bad considering that you end up getting a passive as well. So for this one, for example, when equipping the auto use slot, so the food slot is being replaced by the auto use slot, and you'll see why in a moment. When you type /sleep for 10 seconds, after you've done /sleep for 10 seconds, you'll have increased health regen for 2 hours. Okay, you have to /sleep for 10 seconds plus. I don't know. It's very convoluted and kind of stupid. This is pretty much the entirety of this update, but this is a profession, which means that as you progress through it, you'll get mastery, 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 and then there's going to end up being these other buffs at the end, so on and so forth. The karma is going to be the new resource tied to the mysticism, which you can see negative and positive karma. The PTS patch notes implied to me that you were going to have to balance your karma. It's just a resource independent of one another. So negative karma and positive karma are both independent drops that you can just end up getting. So it's not that big of a deal. Now, the other profession is going to be squandered and hidden away down here in the fishing area. I like the way these NPCs look. This guy is going to be tied to the, this is the mysticism. Sorry. So that other profession is like martial arts or something. Okay. Anyways, this NPC has all of the different items, which you can see these are time gated. This is time gated, and there's also a cash shop equivalent. Now, when this update does end up going live, usually I drop down like $100 just to give you guys an example of what these packs can end up doing. The boxes themselves are basically going to end up giving us resources related to this profession. Of course, they can't resist having a cash shop equivalent. It's probably not going to end up being worthwhile. Let's face facts here. But anyways, like I said, I'll have other videos that'll go into it in a more deep dive scenario, but this mysticism is actually kind of garbage because these are going to end up being passives that will also take the auto use slot, as far as I can tell. And so, for example, allows wild Trovian mana to be collected by defeating enemies in Fae Forest adventure biomes. So these are going to end up cycling out per week, I think, each of these different biomes that are crafted right here. And the Trovian mana is going to be a new consumable resource, which you can only stack a limited amount of 1,000. You can increase that with this item right here, as well as items I'm sure you can get out of the cash shop, and you can increase that total to 100,000. So you will essentially be only able to get far enough in the mysticism profession, you know, at a very limited time gated you know, availability, just because of the limited amount of mana that you can end up grinding. Mana seems to be 1 to 4 per dungeon. It's not affected by uber difficulty. So I do have some numbers calculated, which again, I'll focus on the specific mysticism video. So a lot of this also is subject to change, and I hope that it does, because some of these buffs are good, some of them are really, really bad. Like, look at this, stability by 500 and 5%, so 5% additionally on top of your 500 stability. Stability is a useless stat that prevents you from being knocked back. I don't know why anyone would ever take 500 stability plus 5% instead of using food items. Yeah, so especially instead of using the martial arts stuff that kind of has more gimmicky buffs. But there's also going to end up being potions, and these essentially are going to give you the same buffs that you can get out of mysticism. But in order to craft these potions, you're going to have a certain amount of the mysticism profession, and you have to have the active mystic buff or whatever on your character before you can end up crafting the potion. There's also collectibles, which I assume this section, you know, it's locked because we're on the test server right now, but this is probably where we're going to see mounts, allies, all of that kind of crap, which is more than likely going to be locked behind, you know, the cash shop, or not locked behind the cash shop. Obviously, you'll be able to get it free to play, but it's going to be ridiculously difficult to get your hands on them, right? Because why bother making it so that they're just craftable when they can give you a golden box in these loot boxes that is going to end up giving you a guaranteed rare, which more than likely is going to end up being the collectibles tab. Yeah, so most of all, again, I just wanted to have this as a shorter video, just kind of summarizing the update so you guys and gals can dip your feet into it if you want to. I'm still kind of learning it. It seems very complicated, but it's not. The patch notes is very, very lengthy. I'll leave it in the pinned comment if you guys want to read through it. But of course, I'll have other videos that'll summarize it and talk about it in more detail. Generally speaking, though, the entirety of this section right here with the martial arts, this is tied to trophies that you will compost that allow you to get different karma. And the karma is going to be used to craft these items so that you can progress through the profession. This seems like it's going to be the profession everybody can just blaze through like super duper quick, whereas the other one down in the basement seems time gated. Now, if I had to guess, Master Punchy, who doesn't actually have a functionality at the moment, is probably going to end up being the cash shop NPC related to the martial arts, but time will tell. We'll see what ends up happening with all of that. What is going on with that ally? Oh my God, that was beautiful. No new class, you know, no new biome, no new anything that affects the gameplay in a manner that we're going to be satisfied with. It's just going to end up being raw stats increased, which is why I'm still hoping that all of this is laying the groundwork for a bigger update that is more than likely going to be coming next year. If I had to guess, I'd say March of next year, because that's usually when Trove puts out its big updates. And the only reason that I'm still hoping that this is all in favor of something bigger is because, frankly speaking, we don't need the stat buffs that we get from any of this stuff. We didn't even need the stat buffs that we got from the skill tree up there with the Astral Echoes, but for some reason that was still added to the game. I don't dislike the mechanics of this update. It's just, I don't know whether or not it's going to end up impacting the game in a meaningful way at the moment, because a lot of the buffs that you get out of this are still going to be just completely obliterated by free range electrolytes and condensed milk and so on and so forth. Like, all of these still give more than all of the other stuff, and all of the other stuff goes to the auto use slot right here, which replaces the food slot. So food is still in the game. It's not like it's entirely gone. It's just, yeah, So anyways, I wanted to, again, have that as a quick summary for you guys. Excuse me if I'm rambling a little bit more than usual. I'm actually very distracted because I've got an incredible neck pain today. I don't know why. So I'm on some painkillers and stuff, and I don't know what happened. I slept wrong, whatever. Getting old sucks. Who knows? Anyways, that's it. I wanted to have a video letting you guys know about all this stuff. I'll have other videos that'll deep dive into it tomorrow and onward. Thanks for coming out. Smash like stuff for more. Buy the merch you want to support the channel, and have a wonderful day.